Imagine the chill of a winter night seeping through your bones, not from the snow outside, but from the cold betrayal within your own blood. That's how it started for me. Dr. Sarah Ellis, a 40-year-old trauma surgeon at Riverside General in upstate New York. I'd pulled the overnight shift that Christmas Eve, battling through a flurry of gunshot wounds and overdose cases in the ER. The kind that spike when holiday cheer turns to holiday despair. While I fought to keep strangers alive under those harsh fluorescent lights, my 17-year-old daughter, Mia, was meant to be wrapped in the warmth of family at my parents' house, my folks, Harold and Evelyn, along with my sister, Carla, and her daughter, Sophie. Mia had poured her heart into it, spending the afternoon baking gingerbread men with intricate icing designs, wrapping gifts in shimmering paper she'd saved her allowance for. She even slipped into that red satin dress we'd splurged on at Macy's, twirling in front of the mirror, her dark curls bouncing as she asked if she looked grandma-approved. I kissed her forehead and sent her off with a promise of texts and photos. But the silence that followed was louder than any alarm in the hospital. Exhaustion clawed at me as I stumbled home at dawn on Christmas morning, my scrubs stained with the night's chaos, a pedestrian hit by a drunk driver, a kid with a burst appendix. The house was too quiet, too still. There, on our worn leather sofa in the living room, was Mia, not in her bed at my parents' place, not giggling over stockings and eggnog, but huddled under a fleece blanket from Walmart, still in that red dress now wrinkled and tear-streaked. Mascara trails mapped the pain on her face like dried rivers. On the coffee table sat a lone slice of burnt toast, nibbled at one corner, beside an untouched bottle of soda and the bag of gingerbread cookies, their ribbons undisturbed. My heart dropped like a stone in icy water. "Mia, honey," I whispered, sinking beside her as she stirred. "What happened? Why aren't you with Grandma and Grandpa?" She averted her eyes, her voice a fragile thread. "There wasn't space." "Mom." "Space? At the table? In the house?" My mind raced, piecing together the fragments. Carla and Sophie had claimed the spare bedroom, and Uncle Mark, Carla's latest boyfriend, was crashing on the den sofa. Evelyn had mumbled something about not expecting Mia since I was working. That plans were set. But we'd confirmed it all just days before. Mia's words tumbled out then, each one a dagger. She arrived at 6 p.m. sharp, knocking with arms full of gifts, hearing laughter and carols inside. Evelyn opened the door with a puzzled frown, like Mia was an uninvited solicitor. "Oh, we didn't think you'd show," she said, hesitating in the doorway until Carla appeared, ushering her in reluctantly. Sophie, at 15, was lounging in Mia's usual spot by the fireplace, her new designer jeans and sweater on full display, gifts from who knows where. Certainly not earned. "Sophie bragged about it being from Bloomingdale's," Mia whispered, while eyeing my dress like it was thrift store trash. The dining room scene haunts me still, the table set for 5 with Evelyn's heirloom china, flickering candles, and a centerpiece of fresh holly. Sophie sat smug in Mia's chair, the one overlooking the garden where Mia loved watching squirrels during meals. When Mia asked where to sit, the room fell into that suffocating silence, eyes darting like guilty accomplices. Evelyn suggested maybe Mia could come back tomorrow when it was less hectic. No offer of a folding chair from the garage. No squeeze at the end of the table. Just awkward stares and a hurried plate of cold toast shoved her way in the kitchen. Mia ate it standing, crumbs falling like her crumbling spirit, while the family dined on roast turkey and stuffing in the next room. And then Sophie quipped, "She can join the cats in the basement, they're strays too." Laughter followed, Mark's booming guffaw leading the pack, Carla smirking as she patted Sophie's head. Evelyn looked away, uncomfortable but silent. Harold buried his nose in his tablet, pretending not to hear. Mia left without a fuss, grabbing her coat and gifts still piled by the door, never placed under the tree. She stood on the porch in the falling snow, counting to 200, praying someone would chase after her. No one did. She trudged home alone, the 2-mile walk in heels blistering her feet, not wanting to call an Uber and waste money or bother me mid-shift. I watched Hallmark movies and pretended it was fine, she said. But her eyes betrayed the lie. That resignation in her gaze, the belief that she was just peripheral to the family because she was mine. The single mom's kid, not the golden grandchild like Sophie, shattered something deep inside me. This wasn't a one-off. It was the culmination of years of subtle erasures. Of Mia being sidelined while I propped up the entire clan. You see, I'd always been the outlier in our family. While Carla chased cheerleading and prom queens, I buried myself in biology textbooks and volunteered at clinics, earning the nickname Ice Queen from her. Later, Dr. Stohart when I chose surgery. How do you deal with all that gore without feeling? She'd sneer at gatherings. I felt plenty, I just channeled it into action. Not drama. My parents never chipped in for my education. Surgery's too cutthroat for a girl, Harold grumbled, suggesting nursing instead. I clawed my way through Cornell on scholarships and loans. Waitressing nights. Graduating magna cum laude. Matching into a top residency. All without their dime or encouragement. Then, 6 years ago, their world imploded. Harold's auto repair shop tanked, stubborn refusal to go digital. Bad investments in shady deals. They lost the house to foreclosure. Cars repossessed. Savings evaporated. They appeared on my doorstep one rainy Thursday, Evelyn twisting a handkerchief, Harold staring at his shoes. Just till we were bound, they pleaded. My soft spot for Mia, who longed for grandparents, won out. I bought a modest colonial in Elmwood Heights. Title in my name since their credit was shot. I covered mortgage, bills, groceries, Harold's cholesterol meds, Evelyn's arthritis treatments. Gave them a stipend that kept them comfortable. Carla slunk back after her messy divorce. Sophie in tow. Then Mark joined the mix. Suddenly, I was bankrolling 5 souls. Carla posted sob stories on Instagram about single mom struggles while they bragged to neighbors about their lucky find of a home. The resentment built quietly. 6 months prior, Sophie demanded a $25,000 elite coding bootcamp. Ironic, since I'd begged for science camps as a kid but got nada. Carla cornered me with glossy pamphlets. It's for the future. I snapped. I secure futures daily, yours included. She hurled back. Easy for you. Playing God in the or while buying off your guilt. I slashed extras, no more spa vouchers. No bailouts for Carla's impulse buys. No funding Sophie's dance recitals. That's when I became Selfish Sarah, the uppity doctor who'd forgotten her roots. Roots that had starved me of support, labeling me inadequate for not fitting their mold. But seeing Mia broken on that couch? That ignited the fuse. They could drain me dry. But hurting my girl, the one who'd never asked for this fractured life, who excelled in school despite my absences, who baked and gifted from pure love, that was unforgivable. As Mia drifted back to sleep, I sat in the kitchen, coffee cooling untouched, and forged my resolve. They'd shown no mercy, neither would I. The letter I drafted that afternoon was clinical. A surgeon's precision, to the occupants of 147 Elmwood Lane. This serves as your 60-day notice to vacate. Effective March 1st, 2025. As sole owner, I'm reclaiming the property for personal purposes. Comply with state tenant at-will laws or face eviction. Sarah Ellis, MD. I printed copies. One for my attorney, One for records, one for them. The drive over the next morning felt like heading into surgery, nerves steady, mind focused. The neighborhood was postcard perfect with holiday lights still twinkling. I let myself in. They'd never change the locks. Why would they? I was their perpetual provider. They were in the family room, Harold and his lazy boy with black coffee and the Wall Street Journal. Evelyn in her floral robe. Carla and Mark on the rug with Sophie amid a sea of unwrapped gadgets, an Xbox, AirPods, a drone. The air smelled of fresh-baked muffins. Sarah? Evelyn's surprise morphed to caution. I placed the envelope on the mantel, beside Harold's old bowling trophy. Your notice, I said flatly. Harold ripped it open, his face cycling through shock to fury. This a prank? No prank. 60 days. Evelyn clutched her chest. This is our home. Yours? Mine. Actually. And after last night, the arrangement's null. Carla leaped up. You're evicting family? Over what? Over sending my daughter home alone on Christmas Eve. Over no chair. No plate. Over Sophie's stray cat jab that you all chuckled at. The room iced over. Evelyn stammered denials. But I pulled up the photo, Mia asleep on our sofa. Dress rumpled. Face etched with betrayal. This is what you did. Mark muttered about kids bouncing back. I silenced him with a glare. She shouldn't have to. Harold offered rent. Apologies. Anything. I wanted none. You chose exclusion. Now face the void. Evelyn's tears flowed, the weaponized kind I'd seen manipulate others. Your grandfather would roll in his grave. My grandfather. Who taught me self-reliance after they dismissed my dreams? He'd understand. I left them amid the wreckage of their holiday. The trees glow mocking their panic. I enlisted attorney Lisa Hargrove, a shark in family law known for no-nonsense evictions. Family? Gets ugly, she warned over coffee in her sleek Manhattan office. I recounted Christmas, her jaw set. No lease? They're squatters. 60 days is kind. We dissected everything, utilities in my name, electric, gas, water, Wi-Fi, even the premium cable for Harold's games, all to be cut January 1st. Insurance on contents? Dropped immediately. Send notices today, she advised. I signed it all. The machinery of retribution humming to life. The backlash hit like a storm. Voicemails piled up, Evelyn's sobs. Carla's rants. Harold's threats. Mark's bluster. I ignored them. Instead teaching Mia to make my late grandma's apple pie, the recipe Evelyn hoarded, claiming I was too clinical for it. Extended family mobilized, cousin Rita showed up unannounced. Pleading over tea. Misunderstanding about seats? I pressed. Would you banish your grandkid? She flushed. Mia chimed in. They did it before Thanksgiving. I ate in the pantry, Easter. Egg hunt without me. Revelations stacked like evidence in court. Rita left defeated. January's polar vortex brought blackouts. I briefly wondered if they'd transferred utilities. Then stopped, not my burden. Carla went nuclear on social media, sister evicting us. Help with legal fees. A GoFundMe fizzled at $50. Hargrove fielded lawyer inquiries, burying them in proof of my ownership and support. Carla's posts backfired, commenters spotted luxuries. That flat screen? Designer coats? Ungrateful much. She scrubbed them. But screenshots endured. A month in, Evelyn requested a truce at a neutral diner. She arrived frail-looking. Pearls I'd gifted her gleaming. We're sorry, miscommunication. I showed Mia's journal. I waited on the porch. Invisible. Evelyn crumpled. She begged funds for deposits. Movers. Nothing saved. Whose choice? They'd lounged while I labored. Apologized properly. Too late, they'd had years. With weeks left. They dragged feet. Hargrove suggested listing the house. The for sale sign appeared like a scarlet letter. Offers rolled in. I accepted a cash bid. $20,000 over ask. The buyers, a family with twins, gushed about renovations during the walkthrough. My kin glaring from corners. Moving vans finally came. Amateur hour with borrowed trucks. Carla cornered me at work. Apartments a dump, roaches. No heat. For Sophie. Sophie's cruelty sparked this. Welcome to reality. Eviction day dawned stormy. They vacated by 9 a.m. Sheriff unnecessary. The house echoed empty during final inspection, wall holes from photos. But clean enough. Handing keys to the new owners felt like closure. That night, Mia and I dined at her favorite Italian spot, toasting to futures unburdened. We spoke of her college apps. Not them. 2 years on. Peace reigns. Mia thrives at Yale. Pre-med with a psych minor. Interning at shelters. The house sale funded her tuition. Debt-free, a gift they denied me. I still operate through crises. But home feels lighter. Gossip filters in. Harold guards warehouses nights. Evelyn stocks shelves at Costco. Carla receptionists at a vet clinic. Sophie attends community college. Humbled. They tried reconciliation once. Evelyn at the hospital with scripted remorse. Family forgives. You fractured me as first. No second chances. Spotting Carla at Costco recently. Aged by stress. Our eyes locked briefly. No words, just parting paths. Do I regret the scorched earth? The severed ties? Sometimes. In quiet hours, I ponder middle grounds. But they offered me a non-absolute rejection. I mirrored it. Mia called last week. Dean's List proud. Planning shelter volunteering for Christmas. Thanks for choosing me. Mom. Always. We've built our family stronger. Chosen. Blood means nothing without heart. They taught that lesson, I enforced it. And in the end, the silence is golden.